Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping straight into FinFlow Media's Day 16 Wealth Challenge to settle a massive ongoing debate in personal finance, the Debt Avalanche versus the Debt Snowball. We're going to break down exactly how these two heavy-hitting payoff strategies actually stack up. Our source uses this brilliant, relatable illustration here. They say, it literally feels like trying to sprint with a heavy backpack on. And man, they hit the nail right on the head. Carrying high-interest credit card debt or personal loans, it's just exhausting. Every single month, you're watching interest completely eat away at your hard-earned paycheck. You're putting in the work, you're trying to move forward, but because of that heavy financial backpack, it feels like you're barely making a dent, right? It's a frustrating cycle, and honestly, that's exactly why we're digging into this material today. Okay, so part 1, the game plan, breaking the cycle.
Let's meet our first contender, the Debt Avalanche.
Look, if you actually want to break free from this endless cycle of treading water, just crossing your fingers and hoping for things to get better isn't going to cut it. You need an actual, structured game plan. And that brings us to our first method. This is a playbook built entirely on pure clinical mathematics. The Debt Avalanche strategy is strictly focused on eliminating your highest interest debts first. The whole goal here? Minimize your total cost. Period. Mathematically speaking, this is the absolute most efficient way to save money on interest. Because you're ruthlessly attacking the debt that's charging you the most to carry it, it's fundamentally designed to get you out of debt the absolute fastest. So how does it actually work? Well, the steps are straightforward, but they are aggressive. Step 1, list out all of your debts strictly from the highest interest rates down to the lowest. Step 2, pay the bare minimum on absolutely everything else. And step 3, throw every single spare dollar you can find at that nasty high-interest credit card sitting at the very top of your list. You literally completely ignore the actual balances. You only look at those interest rates. It's a ruthless attack on your most expensive debt first. But what about contender number 2, the Debt Snowball? So what if you just aren't a numbers person? What if staring at a massive, intimidating balance on your highest interest card just makes you want to throw in the towel? Well, the Debt Snowball is completely different. It's a psychology-driven strategy. Instead of math, it focuses on paying off the smallest balances first to build emotional momentum. For folks who need those quick wins to stay motivated, this method is going to be your best friend. It gives you a crucial, immediate rush of accomplishment, recognizing a huge truth. Personal finance isn't just about math. It's about behavior, emotion, and keeping your spirits high while you run this marathon. Let's break down the mechanics here. First, you rank your debts by total balance, from the absolute smallest to the largest, and you completely ignore the interest rate. Just ignore it. Like the Avalanche, you pay the bare minimums on everything else, but here, you aggressively attack that smallest balance first. You knock it out completely, and then, here's the magic. You take the money you were paying on that debt and roll that momentum right into the next smallest debt on your list. The really crucial point here is exactly what our source highlights, attacking a tiny, say, $200 balance first. Now, why does a small number like that matter? Because wiping out a $200 debt gives you a real, tangible victory right out of the gate. It gives you the psychological boost you need to keep going instead of just burning out. You get to cross a whole debt off your list. Sure, the math might say you paid a little extra in interest over the long haul, but the psychology says you just proved to yourself that you can actually do this. Moving on to part 3, choosing your winning strategy. Okay, so we've seen both of these playbooks laid out. We've got the clinical math of the Avalanche on one side and the powerful psychology of the Snowball on the other. So which do you choose? Well, on side A, we have the numbers person. If you absolutely hate the idea of throwing money away on interest and you want the fastest, most mathematically efficient path possible, the Avalanche is 100% for you. But on side B, we have the motivation seeker. If you're someone who really needs those quick wins, someone who thrives on seeing lists get shorter and needs to build emotional momentum to stay in the fight, the Snowball is your path to victory. Honestly, it just comes down to knowing yourself and how you naturally operate. At the end of the day, our source from FinFlow Media reminds us of a really grounded, important truth. The best strategy isn't the most perfect one on paper. It's simply the one you'll actually stick to until you're completely debt-free. Think about it. You can have the most mathematically sound, flawless plan in the world, but if you abandon it after 2 months because you feel overwhelmed, it's a useless plan. The winning strategy is the one that actually keeps you in the game.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a final thought derived directly from our source material. Paper perfection or actual persistence? Which strategy will finally set you free? Are you going to choose the clinical math of the Avalanche or the motivating momentum of the Snowball? You've got to analyze your own habits, pick your game plan, and take that heavy backpack off for good. Thanks for joining me as we unpack these two strategies, and I really hope this focused look empowers you to take that next big step toward your own financial freedom.